What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another post game here on Mets Centrals. The New York Mets win 3-2 over the Los Angeles Angels, taking 2 out of 3 already. Hopefully, they can complete the sweep tomorrow, which we'll focus on obviously a little bit later on because we got a game to talk about here, which it was definitely similar to what we saw in the first game, which does worry me, but also there might be a silver lining to it. I don't know. I'm having a tough time trying to figure out how to digest these games in particular because the bottom of the order is coming through right now, which is good. And some of it is benefiting off the Angels not being able to play competent baseball, which you should be taking advantage of either way because you take advantage of the team that you're playing, you beat who's in front of you. And that's what I've been saying this entire time with playing the Angels, that you have to beat them because they are a garbage baseball team. You are supposed to be a World Series contender. Go beat them. The problem comes down to I don't know how to digest it because you could look at it from both angles here, right? You could look at it as okay, it is great that they are getting wins right now, despite the fact that Lindor is 0 for his last 30 almost, or 29, whatever the number's up to now. Pete's 0 for his last like 14. Soto 1 for his last 15 or 16, whatever it is. So you could look at it, which Soto didn't have a bad game. He still drew 3 walks today, one of them an intentional walk. But either way, you could look at it in that regard. But there's also something to be said about how you are playing the Angels. This is where these guys should really be breaking out of the slumps, no? Especially Lindor, who just looked lost today. I mean, swinging at pitches in the dirt nonstop. That's scaring me. I mean, it's not even competitive at bats right now from him. It's one thing if he's going up there and at least fighting in the at bats and, getting a hit every now and then, maybe drawing a walk every now and then. He's not even seeing the ball well right now. And that to me is very concerning. Especially, like I said, when you're going against Kyle Hendricks, who is not a good pitcher. There's a reason the Cubs let that guy go, and they're doing better, and he has not really progressed from last season. So that's where I'm having the tough time of how to digest this, because from one angle, yes, you could look at it as the positive that I outlined, where it's good that you're getting wins with these guys struggling because they are better players than they're showing, and it's going to turn around. I just don't know when. But then there's also this part of me that's like, okay, when is it going to happen? Because it's been going on, one, for way too long. And number two, you are going against one of the worst pitching staffs in Major League Baseball right now. This is the chance for this team to really show their dominance and show how they are offensively, or what they should be offensively, I should say. Unfortunately, though, we're just not getting that. And that's what's sad and scary, to be honest with you. It was nice to see Alvarez pull the damn baseball, though. I could tell you that. It was really nice to see him hit that home run, and you could tell how much that meant to him to tie that game up there. Brett Beatty getting a double. He's playing a lot better baseball as well, which is definitely helping. I still feel the best path with Beatty going forward. I don't mind him if he's towards the bottom of the orbit. This team still needs to add a bat, in my opinion. It scares me that Stearns isn't, based on the way he talked to the media. But Brett Beatty gets a double, and then Alvarez, if you're going to get what you got from him tonight, that's going to be a big positive, because forget about the home run for a second. I mean, he just gave a competitive at bat every single time that he was up at the dish tonight, outside of the last at bat. But ever since he's been back up, and again, small sample size against the Angels, I need to see more, obviously. But at least I'm seeing some signs of progression here. So, okay, maybe this is where it could stick. I'm hoping it could, to be determined. But it was nice to see him hit that home run and tie this game up, because he needed it. Obviously, the team needed it. And then you end up taking the lead there as Brandon Nimmo continues his hot stretch, because he's the only one really of the Fab Four, as Steve Cohen called them, that has been playing competent baseball right now on the offensive side of the diamond. So he ended up getting that single, which made it a 3-2 ball game. But then you also have the issue where it's like, okay, this is the same thing we've seen all year where they got one inning where they showed up offensively. That's great. You showed up and you still won the game. But as we saw, that could tamper off. But huge credit to the bullpen today. And Montas even. Montas, I think he had I don't know if I want to say his best start thus far, but definitely a good start from Montas today. To me, it's either this one or I liked still that start against the Royals and then obviously the Braves, but good start from Frankie Montas, giving you 5 2/3. Sucks that you couldn't get him to finish that 6th inning because David Peterson's the only one that has got over the 6th inning mark, I think they were saying on the broadcast, which I thought Holmes did one time, but I could be wrong there. Either way, and I thought Senga did too. Maybe it was as of recently. I don't know. Either way, Montas, good start from him. 6 strikeouts, allowed that 1 home run, of course, which did suck. I did not like the pitch location at all to Jorge Soler. You cannot leave that guy a slider right over the plate, and it sucks that in the 5th inning he struggled a bit because maybe that gives you a little more leeway to let him go in that 6th inning, which I still would have been fine if they gave him one more batter. To me, I'm not scared of him facing Luis Rengifo, which I don't mind it because at the end of the day, I've been critical of the way the manager is. But to me, I would have been okay if he got one more batter and then you put him in against Neto at the top of the order. But yeah, didn't love the pitch location of Soler, like I said, and I maybe would have gave him that one more batter. But Rico Garcia comes in and gives you some good stuff, some a good performance yet again from him. And I don't understand still why he got DFA'd as early as he did. I think he should be staying here. And if you're going to DFA anyone anytime soon, it should be some of the other guys he called up. I think Garcia is at least worth keeping around for a bit, especially if you kept Davinsky around for a decent amount. And then Reed Garrett looked good today, giving you a little bit of volume when you need it because Diaz needs the day off. Raley, you don't want to pitch him back-to-back days really right now until you get to the later parts of the season. So I don't blame Mendoza for that either. And then Stanek made it, of course, close because Ryan Stanek does that, but at least he got the job done. It's just, again, similar to what we saw earlier in the year where they were getting the wins from the pitching, which, again, it's going to happen. It's baseball. It's fine, but you can't rely on it all the time like we saw when the pitching gets taxed or when, again, they just have an off day where they're not performing as well. You need the offense to come through a lot more than they have lately because to see a bunch of 0-4s from Lindor, from Soto, from Alonso, that is just problematic. And then even then, I mean, you didn't get any multi-hit games from anyone today, which is also just not ideal. So, again, maybe I'm just the asshole here and I should shut up because they're winning games as they crawl to the deadline and reinforcements will come, hopefully. But at the same time, it's just like, you need these top guys to step up because for right now, I mean, if these guys don't step up and Stearns doesn't acquire a bat, then we have really huge issues here. And I still think he needs to add a bat either way. I think it's kind of ridiculous to look at this lineup and think, yeah, they don't need to add a bat. No, come on. Come on. I'm scared that he's not going to based on what he said during that press conference where he was just saying something along the lines of like, he likes the depth and he likes the way that they're performing offensively, individually. He just doesn't know why they're not getting enough runs and getting the timely hits, which, I mean, come on. We know which area you could address as maybe helping the issue here. Again, that's not going to solve everything. I know it. It's not the magic pixie dust that's going to make them all of a sudden be the offense that we expected them to be going into the year. And if you don't know what I'm referring to the hitting coaches. But doesn't it reflect on your hitting coaches that no one is able to get, or I should say no one, but it's rare that you're getting the timely hits from these guys. Like, doesn't that reflect on the hitting coach not getting these guys up prepared? I don't know. I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but that does worry me because they need to add it back. I don't care that Starling Marte's back. I don't care that Jesse Winker might come back at some point, which I don't even know how likely that is. I don't care if Jose Siri might come back at some point. You need to address this offense. Because what if these guys play like this, hit a cold stretch late in the season or in October? You need guys that are able to come in and pick up the weight a little bit off these guys' shoulders because Brett Beatty's playing better baseball. He hasn't shown enough, though, that, yeah, he could do that often enough. Alvarez, it's a small sample size. I'm liking what I'm seeing, though. Vientos not showing enough. But we'll see. I don't want to sit here and write off what they're going to do at the deadline just yet, but that did worry me when I heard Stearns say that. But either way, um, yeah, just overall nice to get the win. I just want to see a little bit better baseball played. That's all, especially against the Angels, which you should be beating up on them. But either way, let me see what some of you guys are saying in the chat before I wrap things up. I'll go for a few more minutes here. Ray saying no reason the Mets can't sweep with the Angels throwing an opener tomorrow. 100%. And, it's similar to that situation where, who was it recently that did that? I don't know why I'm blanking on schedule lately where the last game was an opener. You had the advantage going in. You should win. I don't know why I'm blanking. Either way, though, similar circumstances, you got to win that game. Have to win that game. I think it was the Royals. Yeah, it was the Royals because they did their bullpen game and then you taxed their bullpen. You should have won that. You should have won. Can Vientos be any dumber swinging at a pitch out? That was ridiculous too. Lindor 0 for his last 30 is not great. He'll be all right at some point. He'll get it going. And I agree with this. Like maybe you give him a day off. Maybe. I don't know if that's the way. But it's definitely a bit worrisome because like I said, it's the pitching staff that he's going against and not producing. That's what concerns me about this, to be honest with you. Laureano would be a solid. I don't know. To me, you need to do more than that. To me, you got to get a big time bat. And I know there's not a lot available, which makes it kind of difficult. But to me, you got to get like a really solid bat that could hit either towards the top of the order or provide stability in the 5 hole. Something along those lines. But that's what they need. And I don't envision Laureano profiling as that guy. And again, I get it. Like, there's not really a lot of options out there. And that's what's worrisome because I would love a Eugenio Suarez. I don't know if the Mets are going to be able to do it. One, because of the prospects. Two, I don't know if Stearns is going to want to give up the level of prospects that it would take to get a Eugenio Suarez. And then, yeah, I mean, there's just so many other teams that are going to be in on him. And then the other guys, Josh Naylor, but same circumstances here. Outside of that, I mean, in terms of like sellers right now, which they need to move the deadline later into the year because this is just ridiculous that you have limited sellers right now. Outside of that, I mean, you don't got a lot out there. You really don't have a lot out there. Unless anyone's impressed with what they've seen from Taylor Ward in the series, which I wouldn't mind Taylor Ward, but you need more. And that's what's concerning to me. The thing that sucks is that this should have been addressed more in the offseason. That's what's frustrating about it. But either way, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live, and I'll see you guys in the next one.